All right, let's jump right in. If you're in tech or finance, you know this feeling all too well. That monthly cloud bill arrives and your stomach just sinks. It's this confusing mess of spikes and charges that nobody can seem to explain, and it always feels like you're playing catch-up, just trying to figure out what happened last month. Well, in this explainer, we're going to get to the bottom of that chaos and find a much better way forward.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover what's really going on with this cloud cost iceberg. Then we'll talk about why the tools we're using right now just aren't cutting it. After that, we'll introduce a totally new way to think about this, the AI-powered colleague. We'll see how it works with some real examples, and then we'll wrap up by looking at what all this means for the future of FinOps.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. The way we've been trying to manage cloud costs, it's just fundamentally broken. We're essentially flying blind, making huge decisions with only a tiny fraction of the information we actually need. It's time to see the whole picture.
I mean, this is the question that keeps so many CFOs and engineering leads up at night, right? We live in a world that is drowning in data. So why is this massive, business-critical expense a total shock every single month? The truth is, the complexity of the cloud has just completely outpaced our tools and our strategies.
And this right here is the key. That number you see on the invoice, that's just the tip of the iceberg. To actually control your costs, to steer the ship, you have to understand everything that's happening beneath the surface. It's not just about knowing what you spent, it's about understanding why.
But hang on, if we have all these dashboards and alert systems, why are we still so surprised? Well, the answer is pretty simple. They were designed for a different era. They're held back by 4 fatal flaws that make them pretty much useless for today's complex cloud environments.
Just look at these. First off, they're reactive. They only tell you about a problem after you've already spent the money. Second, they have zero context. They can't tell the difference between a planned cost spike from a marketing launch and a massive costly error. Third, their recommendations are, well, they're useless. They're so vague, they just end up dying in some ticket backlog. And finally, they create silos between teams, speaking a language that only engineers understand, which leaves the finance team completely in the dark.
This says it all, doesn't it? Our current tools are great at telling you what happened last month. They can dissect past spending perfectly, but that's it. It's like trying to navigate a highway at full speed by only looking in the rearview mirror. You have no idea what's coming and you're headed for a crash.
And the difference is just night and day. On the left, you've got the old way, which is basically a smoke alarm. It just screams at you, hey, costs are up 20%. Gee, thanks, so helpful. But on the right, you have the new way. This is the firefighter. It doesn't just tell you there's a fire. It tells you, hey, that 20% increase, part of that was the planned marketing campaign, which is good. But there's also an inefficient piece of code that's burning through $5,000 a month, and here's exactly how to fix it. See the difference? That's context.
So, to fix this, we don't need another dashboard. We need a totally new way of thinking. It's time to move on from passive tools that just show you data and embrace a new kind of partner, an active, intelligent colleague powered by AI.
I want you to imagine having a partner that never sleeps. It sees every single thing happening across your entire system, and it connects the dots in ways a human just can't. This colleague understands your business, anticipates your questions, and brings you critical information before you even know you need it. That's the AI colleague.
Now, this isn't magic. It's built up in layers. It all starts with a solid foundation of raw data. Then, you add a layer of business context to give that data meaning. On top of that, a predictive layer helps you see the future. A conversational layer makes all this intelligence easy for anyone to access. And finally, an action layer helps you turn insights into actual results.
Okay, enough theory. That all sounds great, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. Let's look at some examples of what this AI colleague can really do. This timeline tells the story perfectly. On January 15th, there's a cost spike. The system knows it's from a marketing campaign, so it understands that this is a good expected cost. No alarms. But then, on the 22nd, another spike appears out of nowhere. The system immediately flags it, traces it back to a specific inefficient code commit, and tells you how to fix it. That's separating the signal from the noise.
And what does this kind of intelligence lead to? Real money. Check this out. The platform found a single opportunity to optimize some oversized instances. The potential savings? Over $18,000 every single month. That is the kind of impact we're talking about.
Now, this is where it gets really powerful. We can finally talk about something like technical debt, a fuzzy engineering concept, and turn it into a concrete business case. Technical debt is just the long-term price you pay for taking shortcuts. And for the first time, we can put an actual dollar amount on those shortcuts.
And we're not talking about small numbers here. These things can be huge. In this real-world example, there was an old architectural flaw, something decided years ago that became this ghost in the machine. It was silently costing the company $3 million a month in wasted compute power, completely invisible to everyone, until now.
This is really the holy grail, isn't it? A single source of truth that can speak everyone's language. The CFO can ask about a budget forecast and get a clear, strategic plan. At the same time, an engineer can ask about a bug and get a technical suggestion that's also cost-aware. Suddenly, the walls between finance and engineering just disappear.
But look, this is just the start. This isn't just about managing the cloud bill anymore. We're on the cusp of reinventing how we manage the entire financial side of engineering. The vision is so much bigger than just one invoice.
The ultimate vision is a true financial operating system for all of engineering. Imagine one place where you can see and manage not just your cloud costs, but also your SaaS tool licenses, your team costs, and that ongoing cost of technical debt. It's about getting a true 360-degree view of what it actually costs to build and run your software.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about for your own company. How much of what you're spending on the cloud is actually creating business value, and how much of it is just the price you're paying for not having context? It's a question worth asking.